that time of year again. Welcome to this Australian Open Life, and today we're sitting down with our audience. Yep, it is our subscriber shout out, audience Q&A, and just a general good old-fashioned chat. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is Grand Slam tennis, but let's get straight into it. What are we doing today? We're going to be sharing some of the great conversations we've been having with the audience here at this Australian Open Life over the last few weeks in the lead up to the Australian Open 2025. So we're just going to be going through some random conversations we've been having. So to the Spotlight series, we're shining a spotlight on our subscriber shout out, the Australian Open 2025. And that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through our subscriber shout out with Grand Slam Dreams. The first one is the most recent one, thanks to Cisco 3044, and he was commenting on our Wildcards episode yesterday. Cruz Hewitt, the highly rated Aussie Junior, part of the Spotlight series, our player watching. Cisco 3044, is this footage from AO 25? And the simple answer is no, it's not, Cisco. Thanks for joining the conversation. Really appreciate you tuning in to watch, but also especially driving the conversation here at this Australian Open Life. The footage for that episode is from Australian Open 2024 on the qualifying days, the 11th of January and the 12th of January 2024, and also some footage shot in November 2024, and also some footage shot in December 2023. So there can't be any footage from Australian Open 2025 because it hasn't started yet. But thanks for your question, really appreciate it. And there'll be more footage from Australian Open qualifying matches, and they were finals, 2 days of finals. No, the third round, I beg your pardon, third round qualifying matches for the Australian Open 2024, and also the day of finals of the qualifiers, and we'll be putting those up. Actually, they're running over the top of this conversation that we're having right now. So thanks, Cisco 3044. Really appreciate you tuning in and watching, and just want to say actually that if I can just get into a little bit of stats and data. Across the journey over the 4 years we've been going, that with our audience, well, while I'm here, it won't give me the oh, here we go. Watch time from subscribers over a lifetime. We're as organised as a dog's breakfast. So over the lifetime we've been going 4 years. So Cisco 34, I'm just wondering, are you subscribed? Because 88.9% of our audience who are watching, they're not subscribed. Only 11% of our audience that have watched our episodes over the journey of 4 years are subscribed. So please, if you can, now something I'll just quickly tell you. Over the last 90 days, 85% of the audience isn't subscribed, only 14% are. So please subscribe to this Australian Open Life. And just, you might be interested, I'm interested in sharing this with the audience. We have a global audience for this Australian Open Life, and I'm going to run through it for the video platform, the content platform, and also the Acast platform, because it really is interesting. So obviously I'm going to go from bottom to top. Singapore, Romania, Kazakhstan, Ireland, Indonesia, Poland, Guadalupe, Russia, Chile, Belarus, South Africa, Vietnam, Brazil, Philippines, Germany, New Zealand, Estonia, Switzerland, Canada, Egypt, Hong Kong, Italy, Japan, Malaysia, Spain, Taiwan, France, United Kingdom, India, United States, and of course Australia. Now that's just people who are watching and listening. Now for the people who are listening on the Acast platform to this Australian Open Live, I'm going to give you the stats for what these guys and girls listening to us on the Acast platform, the podcast, this Australian Open Live. If I can just find it. Oh, here we go, insights, I beg your pardon. Stay with me, I do know what I'm doing. And thanks for listening, thanks for watching, by the way. This Australian Open Live produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia, and we are the experts on all things Melbourne Park, and all things Australian Open 2025. So we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on our subscriber shout out at the Australian Open 2025. And that's what we love at this Australian Open Live. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Live. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through our subscriber shout out with Grand Slam Dreams. The podcast, have a listen to this for our audience who are listening all around the world. We are truly have a global audience, so let's have a look. Over the 4 years, Singapore, Palestinian territory, Venezuela, United Arab Emirates, Taiwan, Switzerland, Portugal, Norway, the Republic of Korea, Ghana, Colombia, Austria, Afghanistan, South Africa, Nepal, Malaysia, Dominican Republic, Argentina, Thailand, Netherlands, Indonesia, Russia, Spain, Mexico, Jamaica, Ireland, Germany, New Zealand, Canada, Italy, Brazil, Belgium, France, United Kingdom, India, Australia, and our biggest audience on the platform, the podcast platform, is from the United States. So just wanted to acknowledge the audience that you're all global citizens of the world. Our audience truly is global, and tennis truly is a global sport enjoyed by millions around the world, and we want those millions, some of those millions, subscribe to this Australian Open Live. We'd really appreciate it. So hope Cisco 3044 that answers your question about the footage, but also some insights into how we're travelling here. And we've actually had a great reception over the journey since the start of November. We've had 999% increase in our subscribers over the journey since we came back to life in mid-November 2024, and I'll just give you some stats. No, actually I won't. Let's stick to the normal. So say over the last 28 days we've had a pretty good go of it, but still our subscribers, only 15% of our viewers over the last 28 days are subscribers, so please subscribe. It'd be a great help. It's the least you can do. But let's get back to the conversations. And the reason I wanted to do this today is because I'm not going to go through every single conversation I've had with subscribers who've been good enough to leave their feedback, but there's just a couple because I don't want to go on for too long. But it's also to let you all know that when we say join the conversation in the voiceover, and when we put it in the description for the episode, it's not just fluff. We do truly get some fantastic feedback from various people over the journey, and often it drives a conversation that I can use later on, and sometimes this turns up in our community tab, so I'm going to go there first. Here we go. So this is a great example, some fantastic feedback I had. Here we go. Here we go. So from, I'm hoping one of our newer subscribers who's recently been contributing. G'day Dynamic Pool 28. Some fantastic feedback that he contributed to our episode, How to Find Qualifying Tickets at the Australian Open. And Dynamic Pool 28 said, another great video. Who do you think is likely to get the final men's wildcard? Do you think it could be Tomic, Jasika, Sweeney or Bolt? Also heard Jason Kubler will be using a protected ranking to get into the qualifying, so that'll be good. He's a great player. Also, a lot of people are saying Cruz Hewitt will get a qualifying wildcard. Well, guess what? He did. So Dynamic Pool was way ahead of the curve there. How do I think he'll go? Look, I think that kid... He'll go. What I'm looking forward to most is just seeing the next generation of Hewitt genes back in action at the Australian Open 2025. Look, he could go fantastic or he could go bust. It'll be up to him how he goes, but no doubt he'll have a lot of support behind him. Dynamic Pool 28 continues. Finally, if Kyrgios has a great tournament in Brisbane, do you think he'll make the second week of the AO in singles? And I'll just finish off what his contribution is here. Just something funny to add for laughs. Imagine Kyrgios plays Tomic in the first round. That would be a laugh. If Tomic wins 3 rounds of qualifying, that is a good point. One more important thing to add is, are you going to do player interviews at the Australian Open? As you said, you were going to get a media pass for the Open. If so, that'd be great. It would be amazing to see. So, Dynamic Pool. Just... I want to thank you so much from your contribution. So thanks for the generous feedback and some great points you raised here. And about old mate Tomic, look, I don't know, to be honest. I'm not a fan of people who waste their talent. Poor old Bernie, for me, he was a bit too soft. I still recall him as a 16-year-old complaining about being tired, wanting special consideration for playing night matches. And then another year he's up on the Gold Coast, front and centre headlines, partying it up on the Gold Coast. So yeah, I'd love him to succeed. But on the whole, I think that ship has sailed in his career. If he has matured, it's too late by my reckoning. Now, I know that's a bit harsh for some people. Some people really do like Bernie Tomic, and he's exceptionally talented. I get a bit frustrated. I do get a bit frustrated by people who don't use their God-given talent, that they're given a little or a lot more talent than the rest of us, who have to work our asses off just to be incredibly under average, is my... attitude. Now, Dynamic Pool 28, Jasika, Sweeney or Bolt, Kubler. Well, I tell you, give me one Jason Kubler for 3 to 4 Bernie Tomics every day of the week. I love Kubler, especially when he's paired with Rinky Hijikata. Alex Bolt, also a thorough workhorse when he's fit and firing. He's had a lot of injury problems over the year, but he's quality. I'll have to do some checking about Jasika and Sweeney. So I want to say thanks. This is where your contributions really add value, and not just Dynamic Pool 28. For anyone thinking of just typing in a line or two to give us some feedback, that will often set us off in a new direction, and possibly, and sometimes, just like now, a bit of a new episode for us to put out there and share with everyone. Now, you can check out the unseeded Aussie wildcards advancing to the men's quarterfinals, Jason Kubler and Rinky Hijikata, at the 2023 Australian Open. We followed them right through from their final round match all the way through to them winning that doubles title in 2023. That was a wild ride. Now, you also asked about Cruz Hewitt. Have you been reading my production notes? Now, we have done that special episode that went up yesterday, and that is going gangbusters. That is going gangbusters with the audience. We've profiled the up-and-coming son of a gun, Cruz Hewitt, and I'm thinking about considering taking the V-Line train up to Traralgon just to get footage of the kid in action. You also had a comment about box office Nick Kyrgios. Now, if there's one player who's always keeping me off balance, it's this guy. He's up, he's down, he's here, he's there. He's like a modern-day Scarlet Tennis Pimpernel. box office Nick Kyrgios. Now, your guess is as good as mine, to be honest. He could do his knee in the first round, in the warm-up on day one and drop out altogether, or he could do the complete opposite. He could power into the final, never drop a single set from the first round all the way through the draw into the men's final, and commentating his own match all the way on court and telling anyone in the crowd with ears on to get stuffed. That's box office Nick Kyrgios for you. Now, with regards to the media pass and the player interviews, you're going to have to stay tuned, mate. The full entry lists have been released. We did an episode on that the other week. That's been released, and that's up there for you to have a look at. And it's also on our website, wisewords.com.au, how to find ground pass qualifying tickets. Now look, if I snag a media pass, I'll be making a beeline for Zhang Shui of China and Kazadit Samraj of Thailand, because it's the unknown players, the wild cards. These guys won wild cards at the Australian Open Pacific playoffs recently, and also the Aussies and anyone else of interest outside the top 100, top 150 in the first, during qualifying, and also during the first couple of days of qualifying once the Open gets underway. Oh, it was the Asia Pacific wildcard playoff. I beg your pardon. So look, thanks again, thanks again, Dynamic Pool 28. Your query has ended up as a new episode in its own right. It's our subscriber shout out, the audience conversation. We are having a conversation with our audience in this episode, and it's much appreciated. Thanks so much. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on our subscriber shout out at the Australian Open 2025. And that's what we love at this Australian Open life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through our subscriber shout out with Grand Slam dreams. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is Grand Slam tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, Melbourne Park. Produced by Wise Words Media, this Australian Open Live. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. We'll be bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis, qualifying news, live tournament match play, audio only, radio style commentary, and the tournament kicks off in mid-January 2024. Hang on a sec, hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on a second, did we say there's other information about ground passes? Yes, there is. Now, you can also find 7-day ground passes between the 22nd and the 28th of January only, and we won't run through all the benefits there, but if you're willing to part with 139 Australian dollars, you'll get great value there. So I guess that's for the hardcore tennis fans that know that they definitely want to be going every day to the Australian Open. That is an expensive week if you're not taking your own food as well. But all this information is on the Australian Open website. It is ausopen.com/ticket-info. And once you go to that website for the Australian Open, you'll be taken through and you'll be able to just look for it's right up there on the top of the page, ground passes, and you'll be able to get your tickets there, and and you'll be able to find tickets and get more information as you need them. But the ground passes to finish off, that'll take you on an iconic Melbourne Park adventure, and you can explore the incredible world of food and beverages and entertainment on Grand Slam Oval. You can catch up with the tennis up close in Kia Arena and the Western Courts, all the show courts. There's some great show courts on the outdoors there, and some really great viewing areas. And you don't have to, all you need is just to be able to find a seat, unreserved seating only, of course, and they're available there for you to book. This Australian Open Life is produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. We are the experts about all things Melbourne, all things Melbourne Park, and all things Australian Open 2024. So stick around with us during the Australian Open 2024. We'll be bringing you live match commentary, audio only, radio style commentary throughout the first week of the Australian Open, and as we get into the second week, and we'll be picking and choosing some of our favourite upcoming matches with some of the lesser known players. We like focusing on the wild cards and those outside the top 100, the qualifiers, those that get through, and we like following the lesser known players and bringing a little bit of colour to the Australian Open for you. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye for now. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through with Grand Slam Dreams. It's our subscriber shout out, the audience conversation. We are having a conversation with our audience in this episode, and it's much appreciated. Thanks so much. And we're just going to finish off this episode with one of our favourite contributors, tennis fan Kaz22, who's one of our very dedicated viewers, and always appreciate your contributions, tennis fan Kaz22, and just plucking out one. I'm trying to find your best, my favourite contribution of yours over the last few weeks. I just want to pick out a good one. Just chat amongst yourselves. Actually, I'm just going to mention this one. I'm going to take two contributions from tennis fan Kaz, which is very generous feedback. I've lost it. Where is it? Here we go. You'll know that we've done profiles on not just Cruz Hewitt as part of the Spotlight series, our Player Watch and Wildcards, but also Neil Fraser, member of the Order of Australia and an MBE. He won 19 Grand Slam titles and oodles of Davis Cups as a captain and a player. And tennis fan Kaz22, wow, Neil Fraser was a lot more successful than I ever knew. 19 Grand Slam titles, isn't far behind Roger, Rafa and Novak. He's almost in Rod Laver League with those titles to his name. Thanks for sharing those stats. There are many things that I didn't know. Neil was quite low-key after his tennis career ended, and we really didn't hear much about him via the media, but his brilliant tennis career deserves to be celebrated. I couldn't agree more. I'm just going to go to a second comment because this is also to highlight to our greater audience of why Wise Words Media focuses on why we're looking to create the niche around the lesser known players, because we like following, shadowing the up and comers, the players coming back from injury, the players that are doing it tough on the challenger circuit, the players that are putting in the hard yards. And tennis fan Kaz, when we put up the episode about our content outlook and the audience plans and partner requests, surprised to hear you say you're not a tennis fan. I thought you were a super fan. Good that you're following through, creating journalism content to grow your business and providing us with interesting and not commonly known tennis facts. Keep up the great work and good luck with this Australian Open Life. Thank you, tennis fan Kaz. And I just want to point out one of your other comments, which really typifies why we're doing what we're doing. And thanks, Tennis Fan Kaz22. I've only learnt about qualifying matches from your content and episodes. It was great that you saw the match in Traralgon. That was Gilles Simon. I'll never forget Gilles Simon, seeing him in Traralgon running around the centre show court at Traralgon under the backdrop of the elegant pine trees surrounding the centre court. And Tennis Fan Kaz, Traralgon, a fantastic grassroots location for a great match. The qualifiers definitely deserve more spectators at their matches. Now that's, I agree, not just Traralgon, not just Bendigo, which we also went to, but of course at Melbourne Park at the Australian Open. The qualifiers very dedicated to the sport and work so hard. And thank you for your good luck wishes around our business development prospects. Yes, it does sound promising, and I'm hoping to collaborate and come up with more interesting and innovative new ideas for new content, for useful and interesting info for our audience. And that is a great way to finish up our subscriber shout out and the conversation with the audience. Join the conversation, because it is often that your feedback, positive or negative or ambiguous or otherwise, often does set us thinking, because although we claim to be the experts at the Australian Open, we're obviously not across everything, and we really do value and depend on your input to help us bring something a little bit different. So it's your contributions that we value, your conversations that we value, and your input. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on our subscriber shout out at the Australian Open 2025. And that's what we love at this Australian Open life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through our subscriber shout out with Grand Slam Dreams. Hang on a sec, and please, again, I can only just ask respectfully, please subscribe to the platform, because it will help us grow and help us in our submissions for various things going on outside our episodes, which is our business development strategies, applying for media accreditation at the Australian Open, and trying to get this content onto over-the-top streaming platforms around the world to more tennis fans, because as you've just learnt, we have a huge global footprint, and we've got the stats to prove it, the activity also. So that's where we'll leave it for now. And we'll just go through our spiel one final time. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Live. We tell stories, and our story is Grand Slam tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, Melbourne Park. We're based in Melbourne, Australia, produced by Wise Words Media. We're the experts on all things Melbourne, all things Melbourne Park, and all things Australian Open 2025. Bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis. You've been listening to me. It's the bloke who walks, rattling on today, and we appreciate your input and appreciate your participation. And thanks for supporting us with your valuable time by checking out our episodes. We are on YouTube, of course. We're looking to get on more over-the-top streaming platforms, fast channel platforms, and of course the Acast platform with our podcast, This Australian Open Life. That's about it for now. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.